Hello guys, welcome to another exciting wine tasting experience. This time is quite different. We are tasting very specific kinds of wines today. And of course, things are opening up. Life is gradually easing back to normal. And we have a lot of reasons to sort of celebrate, but cautiously, because the social scene is going to open up. And a lot of what you're going to taste today is perfect for most of these social gatherings. It's called Methode Cap Classiques. I have with me Methode Mbata from Wines of South Africa, and of course, he's going to give us more details about this, and then we will swiftly move into tasting all this amazing wine that we have from South Africa. Welcome, Methode.
Great pleasure, and hello everyone. Good to be somewhat in Ghana. As I was saying to Ameyaw earlier, I miss my being in the Labadi Beach area. I miss, traveling the streets of Accra. I'm always looking forward to coming to Accra. And welcome to what is titled Wines of South Africa Spectacular Tasting. The idea and the concept of this initiative is just to keep South African wines in the mind of the Ghanaians through virtual tastings. And thanks to you, Ameyaw, for coming on board and be partner with this, because it's crucial to have people of influence to be able to reach as much audience as possible. And lovely to be here with you guys.
Fantastic. So today we are doing the Methode Cap Classiques, or MCC for short. So what exactly is this?
So in true sense, because geographically and by law, we cannot call our champagne. So it's the same method as that of champagne, which it's a method that goes through the base wine that then gets taken into the second fermentation process, which then forms bubbles along the way. And the same time that it spends the lease on the wine on the lease is same 9 months as they would when they make champagne. So the word is Methode Cap Classiques, which is the same method, but we don't call it champagne. We call it Cap Classiques. Cap for Cape, because it comes from the Cape, and it's the classic of the Cape, the Western Cape.
Fantastic. So how long ago did this start in the Cape?
So the first winery that produced wine with champagne style was Simonsach, and they have a wine pretty much the one that I'll be tasting in 1971. So that's far back that South Africa has been making champagne. But rightfully, as I said, Methode Cap Classiques is the word that is used. So Simonsach is the first winery to produce, but over the years we've seen many rockstars show up, and I see that you'll be tasting Valeria. Valeria itself is not far from Simonsach in the area, even though Stellenbosch is popularly known for Cabernet, but the winemaker is able to produce wonderful bubbles.
What is the marketing strategy behind it? Speaking from the point of view of Wines of South Africa, when it comes to this MCCs in Ghana?
As even with the association of the Cap Classiques, the theme and the idea is celebration, because bubbles are all about celebration. So the fun part and the beauty of Methode Cap Classiques is that it's well received, it's accessible. Many of the styles of the winemakers are easy drinking, it's easy on the palate and very much likable. So the approach here is that of everything that we've presented to date in the market, the focus is that there got to be time where we celebrate, and what better way of doing so with the real business. And Cap Classiques is just the right thing to offer the community, the consumers.
Fantastic. All right, so it's time for the tasting, and I have with me the Valeria Tradition Brut, and also the Brut Rosé. So I'm going to pop open the Brut first. Maybe you can tell us through what you have over there while I pop mine open.
Very well. I'm having here the Boschendal. It's the Chardonnay Pinot Noir blend. And pretty much this is a blend that is popular used when actually producers, winemakers make the MCC. It's often the Pinot Noir Chardonnay blending. From Franschhoek area, Boschendal are well-acclaimed wine producers. The wine that I have in the glass, which is this Brut, which is dry, is pretty much, you know, very fresh, very citrusy, ideal to pair it with seafood. The prawns would be ideal, you know, nicely buttered prawns. And rightfully, as I said, you can drink it on its own, you can drink it with food. Because of the type of style and the way it's presented, it's made. It's accessible and wonderful. Very much lush. You can just taste the differences when you, from the nose all the way to tasting that you're drinking class.
Yes. I also like this. It has that citrusy sort of scent, and it's not too over empowering in your mouth. You know, sometimes some of these MCCs are very sharp and crisp, and the moment you taste it, you feel it. But I don't get that sense with this.
Having tasted it myself previously, I'm familiar with that Cap Classique from Valeria. It's brut, so yes, rightfully dry, but like you say, not too acidic and overwhelming. So it's also in the hand and the style of the winemaker in ensuring that it's conducive and accessible so that it's not too overwhelming. You know, sometimes people just want to relax, especially in a warm weather, but at times you find that acidity can be too overwhelming. So the winemaker often knows how to balance that so that the what is called the take of the wine itself in the mouth does not have too high tannins. It's accessible. I think that's critical in appreciating wine. And such wine, I wouldn't be surprised. And thanks to the TT brothers for actually supplying us with a sample of the wine. Because, you know, they are the players in the space, they understand it well. And I'm sure any of the guys, if they join us now, they'll be able to tell us that for the Ghanaian market, this style of wine is ideal because of the weather type. It's very hot in Ghana, but in the same breath, you know, there's also food offerings in that area. What to actually explore that with and do pairing with.
Great. So since you love Ghana and you love some of our food, which of our local foods would you recommend with these?
So in many cases and stages of my being in Ghana, there's been a lot of fruit salads that I've had that are mango based. You know, that is where, and I'm not going to say much about how I even took some of the mango back home with me. But the mangoes are very good, and the style in which at times they fuse mango into the dishes speaks very well to, you know, being able to explore and play around with the local dishes and bring in our wine to pair with it.
So I'm now moving on to the Brut Rosé. Ooh, celebration, like you said.
Oh, nothing else. It's all about celebration. And just while you're pouring, I want to just mention that on the 1st of September, it's officially the Classique Days. World over was celebrating Cap Classique, where we've got offices and reasons that we're actually having this tasting with you today is because we're literally celebrating this unique offering of South Africa and honoring the actual winemakers who are able to, you know, be able to make the wine the same method as that of the champagne, but in South Africa. And it's an icon of South Africa that we have a very good distinction of what we are about. We've got over 350 years, by the way, of winemaking history. And throughout, even in the advent of democracy, we've been able to see exchange programs of our winemakers and exchange programs of other wine regions coming to South Africa and exchanging their experiences. And that learning on its own is evidence in what we're drinking today, the quality wine that we have offered by the actual winemakers.
Okay. I mean, as we're celebrating, what has been the challenges facing the winemakers within this period. Of course, we understand that winemaking process is quite seasonal, and every time there's something specific they are doing. But in terms of the overall output, what has been the impact of this corona pandemic on wines of South Africa in general?
Yeah, without doubt. I mean, the ban on alcohol trade in South Africa has hit us hard. At some point, we've seen the ban of exports, trade in exports. So you can imagine how much that has impacted on the importers not having stock. And so these are areas that we need to now take corrective steps to ensure that there's enough supply in the markets, there's access to, marketing material, because when you stop movement of goods, you're literally shutting down. But subsequently, all reason we're celebrating is because then the actual ban on alcohol was uplifted, automatically the exports went out, so it means now wine is accessible. We're celebrating that we are back in business, and the only thing now that's left is for the borders to be open, for some of us to come through to our favor.
Well, let's say cheers to that, and I'm going to try the good rosé. Yes.
Without doubt, having also tasted that wine, the rosé itself, that's one you would likely pair it with the likes of salmon. Very popular with the ladies because it speaks very relaxed. It's got everything to do with easygoing, chilled, very classy style. And I'm sure you would pick up quite a lot of sort of characteristics in that wine along the lines of, salmon-y flavors that would go well with that type of dish. While we're on it, I just also want to say that the beauty of having worked the Ghanaian market over the years is that we've seen a change into migration from just people drinking red wine. People are now learning to adjust to the fact that under circumstances of high temperature weather, they need to also look at not focusing on red wine. White wine is getting popular, and I can just imagine the rosé also taking the same kind of following in terms of popularity. That's something to look out for. Will be trending this December, will be trending in the years to come as the class of drink. I mean, many guys also appreciate rosé because you don't want to be caught up in just being a one varietal drinking person. You also want to try and explore different ways. And rosé is but another style of winemaking that I think people should explore, and they will find that it's fascinating too.
I think now we can taste that magnificent one that you've reserved, which is like the first sort of MCC that was created from the Cape.
Correct. So Kapsafonkel is named, which was the vintage that I have here is 2018. It's also, just to read the actual blend, it's Chardonnay, Pinot Noir. Chardonnay is 55%, Pinot Noir is 43%, and there's a Pinot Meunier, which is 2%. So it spent a year in the yeast, and in essence, as I said, this is the first Cap Classique that was produced in South Africa. Very popular, well presented, also very lush, very velvety, smooth, appreciated in many markets. So put this down as the wine, as the Cap Classique that is very much a presentation of the beauty of South Africa. Rightfully, as I said, there are many others that come from South Africa that are just as good. It's popularly known because it's the first one to be produced.
It's the opening up and getting back. What should we expect in terms of even the celebration, the spectacular South Africa celebration that you have put together? What should we expect from that?
So going forward, we've got quite a number of themes that are lined up. At some point, we'll be talking about the sustainability seal. If you look at the bottle itself, there will be a seal that is a traceable seal, which is unique to South Africa. And if you are tapping into that seal, you should be able to trace where the wine comes from. It's been verified by the Wine and Spirit Board. So who's the winemaker, the vintage, all of those facts are true and a real reflection. So we'll be talking about that in the next tasting and zooming into what we call the champions, those who are, very much nature conservative in their wineries. We'll be talking through some of the wines that are very unique to certain areas, but drawing that unique factor and offering of the sustainability seal. And then another theme going forward, we'll be talking likely in the month of October, November, about pinotage, the indigenous South African varietal. Remember, other countries are known for specific varietals. Australia is known for Sauvignon Blanc. Argentina is known for Malbec. We're known for our pinotage. It's a South African blend, but I'll talk details about that come to that period. We are, as you know, rolling out training and educational programs with one objective, that consumers should have knowledge base of what they are drinking, but above all, to drink responsibly. I think that's the most important message for us.
Fantastic. It's been amazing enjoying these bubbles with you, and I wish you a fruitful new week, and cheers to that.
Cheers to you all. And Labadi Beach, be on the lookout. Matume is coming there. I love the vibrance. I like that's the place for celebration, by the way. Mm-hmm. We should get of the Cap Classiques at the restaurants at Labadi Beach, because then we'll be giving people quality stuff to celebrate with.